Gather round, children, and Granny will tell you a story. Warm yourself by the fire before we travel together to Paris, where every shadow has a name and the wind sings its lament through gaslit alleys. It began in 1889, on a snowy day in the 14th arrondissement. A young woman, let's call her Marie, checks into the Hôtel Delambre with her ailing mother, the last of her family after her father drank away their fortune and died, leaving them nothing but a small pension and a blackened name. Outside, Paris is alight with the fin de siècle, the end of the century. This is the time of La Belle Époque, the beautiful time. It is a time of peace and prosperity, with art and science exploding forward into a new age. This was the golden age, at least for those with money to spend at the Moulin Rouge and in the houses of haute couture. But inside the hotel room of Marie and her mother, all is quiet, except for the increasingly laboured breathing of the older lady. For years, she has been in ill health, and no amount of taking the waters in Bath had helped her. Marie was at least grateful that her mother's doctors no longer prescribed bloodletting and leeches. This time, though, things seemed different, worse. Her mother was slipping into delirium, and in the middle of the night, when the last candle had burned low, Marie became frightened. She slipped out of their room and padded down the rich red carpet to the front desk. "Please fetch a doctor. Maman burns with fever." The night porter nodded, but he knew that it would take hours to find a messenger and for the doctor to visit the hotel, then to fetch the right medicines. Instead, he hastens Marie to a carriage and gives the driver directions to a good doctor who can be trusted to be home and to be more or less sober. The carriage lurched forward, its iron-rimmed wheels clattering over the cobblestones. The horses' hooves struck the street in a frantic rhythm. Too slow, too slow. Each beat echoing the hammer of Marie's heart. She had banged on the doctor's door until her fists ached. When he finally emerged, bleary-eyed and smelling of brandy, he grumbled about hysterical women, but listened carefully to her description of her mother's condition and mixed a draught, a murky liquid in a glass vial. "Hurry," she begged silently as the carriage turned back toward the hotel. "Please, maman, hold on." The hotel's gas lamps flickered as she burst through the doors. The night porter, a gaunt man with hollow cheeks, jolted upright at the front desk. "Hot water!" "Now!" Marie demanded, already mounting the stairs. The porter's lips parted as if to speak, but she was already gone, her skirts hissing against the banister. For the briefest moment she caught his expression. Not confusion, but something like dread. No matter. Maman needed her. She threw open the door to their room and froze. A grey-haired couple bolted upright in their single beds, the woman shrieking. The man fumbled for a candle, his nightshirt hanging loose over bony shoulders. "Mon Dieu! Who are—" Marie staggered back. The room, their room, was wrong. The armoire stood where the writing desk should be, and the air, fresh, only tinged with the slight smell of night breathing, not the cloying sweetness of fever. "Where is my mother?" she whispered. The woman clutched her sheets. "We've lodged here a fortnight. Are you mad?" Marie's breath came in short, sharp gasps. She whirled toward the hallway, just as the night porter appeared, panting from his climb. His face was ashen. Behind him, a floorboard creaked. The hotel manager, large and well padded with the good life of a thriving business. "May I be of some assistance, mademoiselle?" His voice smooth as poured cream. Marie glared at him. "Where is my mother?" Her voice cracked like breaking glass. "This is our room. She was here. She was ill. I left to fetch medicine." The manager exchanged a glance with the porter. "Mademoiselle," the porter said gently, "you arrived alone. Your room is here, remember?" He softly opened the door to the room next door, a tiny closet of a room with a single bed and a washstand crowded in beside a single hard-backed chair that faced the window, as if a lonely soul had watched the light and colour of Parisian nightlife below. "I know you are grieving something, mademoiselle. Perhaps your dear mother's soul has already left us some time ago. You have been through some ordeal. Perhaps you are overtired." "No!" Marie's hands clenched into fists. "I am not confused. My mother is here. She was feverish. She needed help." Marie's pulse roared in her ears. She turned back to the night porter, desperation clawing at her throat. "Search the hotel. She must be here. She couldn't have just—" The manager sighed, his patience thinning. "Mademoiselle, I must insist you calm yourself. You are distressing our guests." "Distressing?" Marie let out a wild, disbelieving laugh. "My mother is missing. Do you not understand? She was here." The manager's expression hardened. "If you cannot compose yourself, I will have no choice but to summon the gardiens de la paix." Marie's eyes burned with furious tears. "Yes! Call them!" She drew herself up, her voice trembling with imperious rage. "I demand it! Let the police sort out this farce!" The manager's lips pressed into a thin line. He gave the porter a curt nod. "Fetch them." As the porter hurried away, Marie stood shaking in the hallway, her mind racing. The elderly couple watched her with pity. The manager adjusted his cuffs, his gaze cool and assessing. And beneath it all, beneath the panic, the outrage, a terrible creeping doubt began to uncoil in Marie's chest. What if they were right? What if she had come alone? The police inspector took notes with a bored smirk. "Young women of delicate constitutions often imagine things," he scoffed. "A family death, perhaps, a lover's betrayal." "No!" Marie shrieked. The inspector snapped his ledger shut. "Enough! We have woken the entire hotel looking for a woman that no one but you claims to have seen. The Hôtel Delambre is respectable. You'll apologize to these good people or face charges of disturbance." Poor Marie wept as they dosed her. First with laudanum, made from the opium poppy, and the next day with Vin Mariani, cocaine-laced wine, to improve her mood. The second night, they locked her in a room with barred windows when she refused to be still, tearing through the hotel and terrifying sleeping guests. Through the door, she heard the manager's whisper, "The asylum at Charenton has a bed waiting." Charenton's walls were damp with the shrieks of other hysterics. Marie scratched her mother's name into the plaster until her fingers bled. The doctors dosed her with chloral hydrate, their voices syrup thick. "You came alone, Marie. Always alone." Eventually, of course, she believed them. Everybody breaks. Everybody. 10 long years passed. Marie spent her days gazing unseeingly at some place far from here. A place where she was free to walk through the peaceful night air, to feel the rain on her face. Free to taste the buttery softness of the bread from the new bakery named Paul. Or at least, It had been new when she first saw the gates of Charenton loom into view. One day blurred into another, and Marie had no idea that her 30th birthday had come and gone. Then, a letter arrived for her. This caused great excitement amongst the patients. Usually anyone sent to Charenton was never seen again, and never spoken of again, unless it was in the hushed whispers of parlour gossip. Certainly they never received a word from the outside world. A kind nun, squinting at the spidery script, read the letter aloud to a distant Marie. Dear Mademoiselle Fournier, forgive the intrusion. My name is Henri Lefebvre, and once, long ago, I was the groundskeeper at the Hôtel Delambre. I am an old man now, and God will judge me soon enough. But before he does, I must unburden my soul to you. You did not imagine your mother. She was real. She was there. When you left that evening to fetch the doctor, the night porter, Claude, went to your room. He saw the blackened swellings on her neck. He knew what they meant. Plague. Not just death for all, but ruin for the hotel. So he called the manager, Monsieur Duval, and together they decided upon a course of action so evil that I trust I will meet them when I'm eventually sent to the fiery pit to repent for all eternity. They smothered your poor mother with a pillow. I heard the struggle from the service stairwell. By the time I reached the room, it was done. They wrapped her in the bed sheets and carried her down to the furnace. They burned her like rubbish. Claude stole her wedding ring before they took her, meaning to sell it later. But I took it from his coat the next day. I kept it all these years, telling myself I would find you. But fear kept me silent. Fear of Duval, of the police, of the noose. Now dying, I care only for the truth. Enclosed is your mother's ring. I pray it brings you some peace, though I deserve none. If you curse my name, I will not blame you. Claude hanged himself in 91. Duval died coughing blood last winter. The hotel closed after guests complained of a woman's voice crying through the night in room 37. I do not believe in ghosts, mademoiselle, but I believe in justice. The nun, wide-eyed, slipped a gold band into Marie's hand. From far away, as if called from the bottom of a canyon, Marie moved her head ever so slightly toward her left hand, lying limp in her lap. The inside engraving, unmistakable to Marie's eye, she who had known this small piece of gold her whole life. À mon cœur, éternellement, forever in my heart. The rain fell in silver threads, whispering against the cobblestones. Marie Fournier stood motionless before the Hôtel Delambre, her breath a ghost in the cold air. The building sagged under years of neglect, its grand facade now pockmarked with rot. A peeling sign clung to the boarded-up door. À vendre, prix modique. For sale, very cheap. 10 years in Charenton had taught her the art of stillness. She had learned to fold herself into silence, to become a shadow in the corner of the asylum's hell. Now she wore that stillness like armour. In one hand, Henri's letter, the paper soft from countless rereadings. In the other, a single match. The rasp of sulphur against stone split the night. A flame flickered to life, small but defiant. Marie held it to the edge of the letter, watching as the fire licked hungrily at the words that had shattered her world. You did not imagine your mother. The paper curled, blackening. She crouched, sliding the burning confession through the hotel's tarnished letter slot. For a heartbeat, the glow illuminated the foyer's ruined grandeur, the dust-shrouded desk, the shattered chandelier. Then the flames took hold, and the darkness swallowed them whole. Marie straightened, rolling her mother's wedding band along her finger. The gold caught the distant gaslight, winking once, a final secret between them. She walked away into the night, a smile playing across her pale face. A pale face turned up to the rain. Sleep well, and check your window.